The Adept Palindrome is finally back, and with a refreshed elemental affinity and perk pool, it is arguably the best arc hand cannon in the entire game, being able to roll explosive payload and rolling storm, the brand new bolt charge perk. So today, I'm going to show you the fastest, easiest, and most efficient way to farm it out, approximately 15 to 20 minutes per run. Once you get the rhythm down, let's get right into it. So, starting out, we are doing this in the Hypernet Current Grandmaster Nightfall. This is coming with Overload and Unstoppable Champions, a Overcharged Grenade Launcher, Arc Surge and Void Surge modifiers, and Overcharged Weapons, where, of course, if you have an artifact perk active for an anti-champion weapon, that weapon will automatically inherit the Overcharged DPS buff. Doesn't stack with Overcharged Weapons or the Surges either, which is worth noting. So, looking at classes, if you're rolling on a hunter, arguably it is the least impactful class to bring, but obviously a lot of people are very comfortable on hunters. It's perfectly fine to bring a hunter. I love the prismatic setup for this Grandmaster Nightfall. Tether is absolutely exceptional. I love Withering Blades for being able to chuck them at an Overload champion and immediately stun them. If I chuck 2 at an Unstop, that will also stun them. Grapple Grenade is fantastic for maneuverability. However, if you do want another Overload champion stun source, you can go with Duskfield. I personally like Grapple a little bit better though. Stylus Executioner and Winter Shroud are obviously going to be our go-to. Stylus Executioner is great for survivability with invisibility when defeating enemies afflicted with an elemental debuff, and Winter Shroud is fantastic as another way to stun Overload champions. Dodge right next to him and boom, they're stunned. For fragments, we've got Protection, bonus DR, Dawn for bonus damage, Solitude, exceptional in GMs. When you laser a champion in the face or a boss in the face, it'll sever it, cuts its damage by 40%, or if you have the artifact mod on that increases your sever effects disruptor spike, it bumps that up to a 52% damage debuff, which is really, really solid. And then we've, of course, got Blessing. Melee Final Blows will start health regeneration. That is applicable for both Withering Blade and your grapple melee. And then Fast of Purpose or Pickup is going to give us Overshield thanks to the Shadow Shot Deadfall. In terms of your exotic, you can go with an exotic class item if you have it. It's not required in any capacity, but I love my Inmost Light Surturacne. If you don't have this, you can go anything with Inmost Light. If you don't have that, then you can go with something like Orpheus Rigs so that you can get off significantly more tethers. In terms of your weapon setup, like we said, we're focused on Overload and Unstoppable champions. So, Unstoppable is going to be taken care of with our fusion rifles. Now, you have a couple different angles that you can go with this. Angle number 1 is to simply go with a fusion rifle in your heavy ammo slot, specifically an exotic fusion rifle like the Queen Breaker or the Sleeper Simulant. Remember, you can go the Sleeper Simulant even though it doesn't align with either of the weekly surges in Arc and Void, because you still get the DPS bonus from overcharged weapons because you have Unstoppable Fusion on. You pair that up with Particle Reconstruction, and this thing absolutely lasers champions, the bosses, most importantly the Tormentor early on, so you can get past him really quickly. Now, if you are going with this, I would recommend a long-range primary weapon. Something like a scout rifle is very, very nice. Since scout rifles do not have any champion mod to give them overcharged weapons, you do want to make sure that you align the scout rifle with the weekly surge, either a void or an arc scout rifle. And in the kinetic slot, you can either go with a fusion rifle so that you have another unstop option. I personally really love bringing something with chill clip. So that could be Tanasha's Mastery if you got that from Iron Banner with chill clip. It could be something like a Riptide or a Deliverance, but chill clip is another way to immediately stun an Overload champion. Feels absolutely incredible. Alternatively, if you are a raider and you happen to have access to the Vex Mythoclast, you can go with something like a legendary linear fusion rifle and slot in the Vex Mythoclast, because this thing classifies as a fusion rifle, which means it inherits the benefits of particle reconstruction, which means you stack it up super quickly, you absolutely shred through everything with Vex. And even though it's solar, it gets the 25% damage bonus or 20% damage bonus, whatever it is, from overcharged weapons because of Unstoppable Fusion. So, kind of up to you there. As long as you have plentiful ways to stun Overload champions, you're feeling comfortable with that. And then you have at least one way to stun Unstoppable champions. Your weapon loadout is kind of up to you. Don't feel bad if you don't have Vex Mythoclast. This loadout is also exceptionally good. It's really whatever works for you. I'm going to be running this one for the purposes of today, just because I enjoy using it, but it is up to you. In terms of mods, pretty simple. Heavy Ammo Finder and Scout. Siphon, Loader, Surge, and Scavenger mods matching our primary / heavy ammo weapons, Reaper, Powerful Attraction, and Bomber. And then for this one, my resistances are actually a little bit wrong. I love having an arc resistance and a solar resistance. There's a lot of solar snipers in this strike. Plus you got things like Axion darts and the Taken, like ball things that get shot out from the rifts, those are all going to be arc. That'll keep you nice and safe. If you are coming in on a Warlock, another raid weapon recommendation I have, again, this is not required in any capacity, but it is another way that just puts the Overload champions to bed and makes things so simple. If you can find a Warlock with Divinity to come up on your team, it makes killing the Tormentor at the very beginning probably 2 to 3 minutes faster, which is going to net you way faster runs. If you're looking for people to do this with, by the way, or a Warlock with Divinity, join my Discord server linked in the description down below. There's surely going to be teammates in the LFG channel in my Discord server who have all seen this exact same guide, surely looking for people to squad up with to farm Palindrome with, some of which will, of course, be Warlocks with Divinity. So this is my homie TJ. He's bringing in the Divinity. Pure Solar subclass, Well of Radiance is absolutely awesome for so many areas in the strike. Things like the Tormentor area, a lot of situations in the boss room. Well of Radiance is awesome. He's rock and rolling with Hellion, Touch of Flame. Ember of Benevolence is probably going to be the most important thing here. Ashes, Dawn, and Singeing, also very nice. And Healing Grenade, obviously very, very helpful for keeping the team nice and healthy. He's also bringing up a Cenotaph. If you are running the Divinity, Cenotaph is really nice. If you're not bringing a Divinity, you can probably just go Speaker's Sight instead with the Healing Grenade, so you can have the healing turret. But Cenotaph is spectacular because every champion that he paints with Divinity, if me and my teammate kill it, we generate an ammo brick. We basically have infinite linear fusion heavy ammo throughout the entire strike. Dusty, who everyone knows and loves, great fashion as always, is bringing the Titan, and he's bringing the Insurmountable Skull Fort, Rally, Barricade, Bolt Charge setup, the one y'all know and love, the one I've made, I think, a Willa build video and an official build video on already. Rally, Barricade, Thunder Crash, Storm's Keep, and Knockout. Resistance, frequency, feedback, and he has amplitude here. You can go shock if you want to alternatively so that your grenade jolts targets. And then you have another way to stun unstoppable champions. It is up to you. He's running basically the same loadout I'm running, except running an area denial grenade launcher instead of the Chill Clip Tenacious Mastery, because you really don't need a ton of stuff with Chill Clip. As long as you have a couple people that are able to consistently stun champions, you're good to go. So with those loadouts set up, we're going to load into the Grandmaster Nightfall. I'm going to show you exactly how you want to play it, the safest way to play it, but also the fastest way to play it. I'm going to show you ways to make sure that you don't miss out on platinum, so you guarantee that you get a drop and all that good stuff. And while we're flying in, I do want to mention, I'm filming this live on my stream, twitch.tv/Mactics. I do carries of this Grandmaster Nightfall as well. So if you're not able to get a team for this, or maybe LFG is not working out, or maybe you just feel like running a GM with me for whatever reason, stop by the stream, twitch.tv/Mactics, like I said. Maybe hop in, do a run with me. I always love gaming with y'all. It's always a good time. So we're going to fly on in here. I'm going to show you guys exactly what to do. Hopefully we get a nice clean. It'll probably be more on the 20-minute side because I'm probably going to be focused on taking things a little slow so I can explain things. But yeah. So, fly in. Initial area is pretty easy, pretty simple. We're just going to use our weapons to go ahead and plink away at all of these enemies up here. If that's a new Hypernova Bane, by the way. They like to explode. So just make sure you stay nice and far away from them if you ever see anything like that. I actually don't know how much damage that does because I've never gotten hit by it, but I'm just going to assume that it kills me on Grandmaster. I don't know if anyone in my live stream chat can confirm or deny that, if anyone's come into contact with that, but it looks powerful, so I'm just going to keep my distance from him. So we're just going to go ahead and carve through all the enemies. Really, if you're using the Vex Mythoclast, really nice to use these dogs as cannon fodder to load up your overcharge so that you can enter into that linear fusion rifle mode when we get to some of the tankier enemies. This Vex Mythoclast absolutely bangs in this GM. This area, you want to be a little bit careful. There's some sniper legionaries up there that hurt a lot. So right here, I honestly like to try and take them out from a distance if I can. My aim is not the greatest. And he just regened HP. Don't be afraid to use a linear fusion rifle shot. There's 2 Honored Legionnaire snipers up there, and they are extremely scary. In both of our practice runs, at least one of us died to them. So, yeah, give them some respect. Right here is Bolt Charge City, so Dusty's going to pull up, put his barricade down, and just going to load up the unstop shot. And Bolt Charge absolutely carves through these enemies. I don't know if my teammates were focused on that unstoppable Incendiar, but we're just going to keep stunning these guys. Dusty's hitting him with the Thunder Crash. Both unstoppable champions dead right there. Bolt Charge is an absolute dream in this strike. So we're just going to continue to use Vex Mythic Blast, hang out right here, carve through everything. And then once we have most of the enemies dead, be aware of these turrets as well. These Scorpius turrets hurt quite a bit. Just going to jump up a little bit, make sure we're killing everything. We want to make sure we each grab a Minotaur head to take with us because they do very respectable damage. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a Minotaur head. And then we're going to jump on up here. Give it a little tappy tap. And ideally, you have a little bit of juice in your Minotaur head left after dealing with these trash mobs right here. So ideally, everyone on the team, we should have 3 Minotaur heads right now. So everyone should have a little bit of smoke in their Minotaur head. And the reason I really like having a little bit of juice left in them is because there's 4 Scorpius turrets right here. 1 on each pillar. And the Minotaur heads are really nice for just tapping them and taking them out immediately. Once those are dead, I like to play hard right side over here. Making sure that I'm kind of playing a little bit of cover because there are a lot of Scion snipers in the arena. But I love just playing hard right side. And we're going to move our way up here, start taking out some of these Scion snipers, and basically just take this ridge. That guy has meteors, though, so I do need to be careful. I'm going to back out a little bit. Be careful of any Scion snipers that are over there. But I really like pushing up and taking this ridge. Dusty got picked off, unfortunately, which did prevent us from fully taking the ridge. But right here is by far the safest area that you can be. And so I love just hanging out up here and then clearing out the rest of the map from up here. So we use our Chill Clip sidearm. Take out these Scions. And after we kill every single thing, we're going to get the Tormentor to spawn. You want to make sure that you do not insta-kill the Tormentor. Reason being is because the Tormentor will spawn with an unstoppable champion. And if you insta-kill the Tormentor, the unstoppable champion will die. Or not die, sorry. He will despawn, and then you don't get platinum. So we're going to have the Divinity on him behind a Bolt Charge barricade. And as you can see, we just eviscerate the Tormentor. But we don't want to kill him all the way. We want to make sure that we pay attention to this unstoppable Incendior right here and smoke him before we actually take out the Tormentor completely. So he is dead. Now that he is dead, the Tormentor is free game. We don't need to worry about any of the other adds. We don't need to worry about anything else. And the Divinity plus the Bolt Charge plus the Linears makes killing the Tormentor an absolute joke. So he's... I don't know where he went. There he is. So I'm gonna let him do his thing. Probably would have had him dead like 30 seconds ago if he wasn't hanging out underneath for some reason. But once you kill him, you're going to notice every single thing is going to despawn. And we're going to be able to continue with the strike. Again, make sure that you kill that unstoppable champion first. Because if you do not kill the unstoppable champion, he will despawn when you kill the Tormentor. And then no platinum. Now, this is the stage where you're going to be missing a little bit of heavy ammo. And this is the stage where if you do have a Divinity Warlock, again, it's not a requirement to have a Divinity Warlock, but if you do have one with Cenotaph, this is where you want to start tapping all of the champions with Divinity so that we create heavy bricks. So for this area, I like focusing the trash mobs first, specifically the Centurion, because he's going to send darts up at us. And then once we have him dead, go ahead and load up a quick little unstop shot. And this is where we're going to just tap him with div, or you can keep div on him for a quicker kill and make sure that we're starting to generate these Cenotaph bricks. So once again, we're going to clear out any trash mobs. Make sure we kill the darts. I always like to try and kill the Centurions before I kill anything else, because they throw those darts and they are super, super annoying. And so as you can see, just Vex Mythic Blast with the particle reconstruction absolutely shreds these champions. Frankly, every single thing in this strike. So we're going to pull up here. Once again, I like to try and take out the trash mobs, specifically the Centurion, before I really worry about champions. So we're just going to go ahead and zap him. And then once he's dead, this platform is relatively safe to push up onto. We do have an unstoppable champion, but that's no problem. Stun him with the Vex. And then we can switch to our linear fusion rifle mode. I missed my third shot, but it doesn't matter. He was finishable. This thing absolutely slaps. Now, here's a part where you can skip some things, but you need to be very careful in how you skip them, because there is a correct way to skip them and an incorrect way to skip them. I think I accidentally threw that Minotaur a little further than I should have. So I'm going to go grab his head. So right here, I'm going to grab the head. The first head that we get, you can typically destroy every single blight that is in your view. It's like all but maybe 2 or 3. So 86% on taking blights destroyed, but I don't want to kill any more right now, because I want to make sure we kill the rest of the Minotaurs and have their heads on the ground, and I want every single person on my team to pick up one of the Minotaur heads. Reason being is because all but one of the heads is going to despawn. So ideally, I'd like TJ to come over here and pick up this head. And then we're just going to wait and chill with each other. One of us is going to have a head. The other 2 are going to despawn. Looks like I got the lucky one. And the reason you want to keep the head is because when we get up here, as many of you probably know, there's a bunch of taken portals that shoot the rift blights on the Sparrow racetrack. If you take the head and you shoot just one of them, they all go away, and it makes the track infinitely easier. Now, with the addition of skimmers, you can actually completely skip this entire jumping puzzle, as you're going to see Dusty do right now, by just go ahead and hitting the boost and then hitting the glide. You can glide all the way to the other platform. However, you do not want all 3 players on the team to do that, because if you have 0 players go through this racetrack, it does have a chance to soft lock and bug the strike, and then you will not have any enemies that will spawn in later areas. So you want to make sure at least one person does do the actual full track. And I also recommend that the person that does do the full track, one, make sure it's your best player. Whoever is your best, like, Sparrow player, the least likely to die, make sure that they are the one to do it. And make sure that they don't go until your other 2 players are already across the way. Reason being is because if your other 2 players accidentally make a mistake with their skimmers and they glide across and they mess up, their revive will be back at the beginning, and you'll want to be there to pick them up. So wait until your 2 teammates are across, and then you and obviously they can start fighting. TJ and Dusty are just waiting for me to get over here so I can demonstrate what enemies are over here and what to kill in and what order for guide purposes. But they can, of course, be fighting. Overload taking Hobgoblin right off the rip. After we kill that Overload taking Hobgoblin, we're going to go ahead and bait these mines on the right side. And then after this mine, we're going to kill this Overload Hobgoblin. The Vex head is exceptional for nuking them down, especially if you crit them. And then once this one's dead, we're going to want to... This area is a little bit interesting because there's an Overload Hobgoblin right there, and there's also one to the left. So we're going to hard push up here and play this wall so we can nuke this one on the left before we worry about the other one. So we're going to take out this one, throw in a shuriken and chocolate panaches. And then after that one's dead, now we can worry about this one far in front of us. Easy peasy. And then we'll just go ahead and continue on our way. We got a couple taken mines. This area, be very careful. I see a lot of teams wipe in this area because there are a lot of taken Vandal snipers that teams don't respect. There's one to the left right there that you can get when you're down here. And then when you jump up, there's going to be one up on this tower right up there. And then there's one in the far back of the... 2 in the far back of the map, rather, sorry. That are very, very scary. These dudes hurt and will end your run. So make sure, use heavy on them if you have to. One tap them. Be disciplined here. Don't just automatically jump up here without ignoring that one and leaving that one alive. They will shred you. Once all the enemies are dead, you're pretty good to just kind of like run through. Just being aware of the blights. And then once we're through, I really like coming over here and taking out this pack of right side ads. I don't like killing any of the rifts until I deal with both of the Overload Hobgoblins up top. So step 1, I like to get ahead. And then I'm taking a little heat because that guy's not Overload stun. But I really like stunning this right side Overload, smoking him with the taken head. I'm going to pull out my Chill Clip Tenacious to try and reapply because I don't think we have div on him right now. But we take him out just like that. And then there's another one on the left side that I like to take out the exact same way. For the left side one, honestly, we can rotate over here so we have a better angle on him if we want to. Because he does like to hug that wall a little bit. And I'm just going to wait until he's Overload stunned. Oh, it didn't make the Overload stun noise. That's kind of weird. But very easy to take out. Once those 2 Overload Hobgoblins are dead, then that's when I like to start closing the Taken Rifts. And the reason I like to make sure that the Hobgoblins are dead before I worry about the Taken Rifts is because once we close a certain number of Taken Rifts, that is when we are going to spawn 3 Ogres in the middle. So I'd really love to pre-place Tether for them. You can also use a Thunder Crash. Kill all 3, nice and easy. Don't really got to worry about them all that much. And the reason I'm fine with using my Tether right there is because if we have some leftover Taken Heads, you can use these to get your super at a ridiculous speed. So we're going to fly up here after all the rifts are done. And just take a look at my super meter when we burn the boss initially. You get your super wicked fast. Now, once we're up here, we're going to go ahead and absolutely smoke the boss for a little bit. And then when he spawns adds, that's when we're going to drop the Well of Radiance right here to deal with all the adds. That's also when I'm going to drop the Tether. But take a look at my super meter as I start shooting this guy. Healing Rift is also really nice here as well. But super's back already. I'm going to pre-place my Tether. Maybe a little early on the Tether, to be completely honest. Nope, worked out. And then we're going to have an Unstoppable Champion right here. You can use the Taken Head to smoke the Unstoppable Champion. You probably blinked and he was gone. And remember, I just tethered. My super's basically already back. But this is where I'm not really focusing on boss damage at all right now. I'm just focusing on ad clear while we have the Well of Radiance available to us. Because the boss is not a major threat to us. Not nearly as much as the ads and the Axion Darts from the Centurions are. And now with all the ads dead, we can just go ahead and continue and smoke the boss until we get him to 2/3 HP. TJ down. Poor guy. So I'm actually going to wait to damage the boss until I get TJ up, in fact. Probably a little bit of a risky res, because I might get him spawn killed. Yeah, I did. So in this situation, I think Dusty's going to want to get the aggro of the boss and run to a different side, so the boss is shooting the blights at Dusty. I'll hide here so the boss de-aggroes me. Okay, go look at Dusty. And then boom. Now right here, when we spawn the blights, I love hopping up here and trying to eviscerate the Minotaur. I use everything on him. Oh, there's the Supernova Hobgoblin. So let me get out of here. I'm curious. Is it going to kill them? No, I guess not. It looked like it didn't even do any damage to them, so I'm not sure what's up with that. I'd recommend against intentionally eating it, because I can't imagine it's a good thing, but didn't really look like it did any damage. Anyway, you're going to have a bunch of Thrall that spawn right there as well. You just kind of want to secure your home base, if that makes sense. If you're on Stylish Executioner Hunter and you got that Chill Clip weapon, really nice. You can just use the Chill Clip to keep Invis up through Stylish Executioner. And then once we're up here, I'm going to use this head to kill all these goblins right here. That are kind of... These Solar Vex goblins hurt quite a bit. And then I'm going to kill that Quantum Minotaur. And then once all of the ads are dead, that's when I'm comfortable starting to kill the blights. Because once I kill a certain amount of blights, the boss is going to move to our original safety spot. Right there. It's also going to spawn a bunch more ads. This is where I'm not really focused on doing the blights anymore. I just want to kill all of the ads that are up. So we're just going to kill all the ads, make sure our home base is safe. Looking pretty good right now. And I'm comfortable. All the most or all the ads seem dead, so I'm comfortable killing the remainder of the blights and going to the next DPS phase. Now, once we're here, he's going to spawn a ton of Hobgoblins, Vex Goblins, and an Overload Goblin. And he's also going to enter his Axion Dart phase, where he's just going to hurl 5 Axion Darts on repeat throughout the entire rest of the fight. These things hurt big time, so make sure that your brain is kind of on alert mode and always looking out for those. This is an interesting setup. We have an immune melee Vex Goblin immuning the Overload Hobgoblin. So I'm going to throw a Shuriken to take that guy's immunity shield off. I'll go ahead and throw my Tenacious Chill Clip at that Overload Taken Hobgoblin. He is smoked. We're good to go in that regard. And we're just going to go ahead and finish off the rest of these enemies. Careful of this phase right here with the ads. The retaliation bolts from the hobgoblins plus the Axion darts from the boss can make for a pretty sticky time. So just make sure that you're respecting all of the attacks that are coming at you at this stage of the fight. There's a lot of stuff. So we're just going to go ahead and smoke the boss, use our heavy. I'm going to proc my bait and switch. So like right there. Just making sure that you're being aware of those Axion darts, pulling out your primary weapon, taking them out. If you see a Vex head as well, the Vex heads are exceptional for damage on the boss. So I see one right over here. I'm going to grab it. I use my tether because I know I'm going to get my tether back pretty much instantly from damaging the boss with the Vex head. I don't want to damage him all the way, though. I want to get TJ up first because we are going to rotate back to where the boss is after we phase him. So I'm going to start making my way over there because the boss is going to teleport after we phase him to way over there, complete opposite side of the arena. And once again, we're going to focus all of the goblins on this upper ridge. This is a nice time for Well of Radiance just to make sure you're safe. We got a lot of Scions and taking Thrall as well. But we're just kind of being smart here. Being smart, not getting too aggressive. Taking out all the Thrall. We got a melee one. And I would say ad-wise, we're looking pretty good. Once we're looking pretty good, that's my cue to hop up here, get the next head, kill all of the goblins. The goblins are way more dangerous threats than the Minotaurs, because for whatever reasons, the Minotaurs care way more about the boss than they do about you, whereas the goblins really, really, really like you. So I care a lot more about the Minotaurs than I do about the boss. In fact, I kind of like leaving these Minotaurs up at the end, because sometimes the boss pays attention to those Minotaurs instead of you. So we're just going to go ahead. Obviously, we do want to kill them eventually, though, because then we can take their heads for damage. But we're just going to finish off closing all of the rifts. Once all of the rifts are closed, I really like dropping a tether right here to clump all the ads together, and then use the Vex head to absolutely shred through everything. Bonus points if you can get a stun on that unstoppable champion as well ahead of time. I was not able to, but that's okay. So we're going to stun him. Try and take him out with our linear. Just keep on backing up. And boom. And then once he's dead, maybe a couple more ads, 1 or 2, but we're basically in the clear at this point. If you have any remaining Minotaurs or any available Vex heads, this is the time to just go and grab them and use them to absolutely eviscerate the boss. So I'm trying to kill this Phalanx first. See what I mean when I said the Minotaurs aren't really threats? They just don't really care about you. But these Vex heads. So I got that one right there. I see there's another one right there that Dusty could pick up if he wants to. But as you can see, his health bar just gets cut in half. Go ahead and drop a little super. Boss is dead just like that. 20 minutes and 7 seconds. I can't see because of my webcam. But yeah, like I said, anywhere from 15 to 20 minute runs if you get a rhythm going with your team, and obviously you're not focused on taking things a tiny bit slower than usual because you're trying to explain stuff. Your 15, 20 minute runs nice and easy. Explosive payload mag howl, that's not bad at all. But yeah, I highly recommend farming this Palindrome. It's an absolutely exceptional weapon and probably the best arcane cannon in the game, in my opinion, especially if you can get an explosive payload and rolling storm drop. Just because Rolling Storm is an absolutely awesome perk, and Explosive Payload's really nice as well. So, hopefully you found this guide helpful. If you did, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel so I can help you out with future guides. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the stream if you want to run with me or just hang out, twitch.tv/Mactics. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.